Hi, Nutrition Greenhouse. My name is Christopher Burno. I am founder and acting CEO at Vroom Technology. We're an early stage media tech startup, and we're very interested in being considered for a position in the Nutrition Greenhouse North American Accelerator. In this brief presentation that we'd like to present to you, we're going to talk about a number of market and technology factors that are coming online very fast that make now Q4 2018 a really good time for brands to start considering seriously about their immersive branding and immersive content development strategies. But before we go too far into the story, we'd like to just call out something that we think might be on your mind, and that is, why on earth would a media tech startup be interested in a nutrition, food, and beverage accelerator? And on the flip side of that, why on earth would a nutrition, food, and beverage accelerator be interested in a media tech startup? On the surface, it doesn't seem like a perfect match. However, just below the surface, there are tremendous, like I said, market and technology forces and some really compelling data that argues that we have a lot more in common than it may seem on the surface. But before we get into some of those market forces, at a super high level, what Vroom is a full stack platform. We have brands, advertisers, designers, and developers on one side of the platform. And on the other side of the platform, we have end users or consumers that will be consuming these experiences, these branded world experiences, these immersive ads, if you will, and consuming them across any device type, whether it's a mobile phone or whether it is a Sony Bravia TV in their living room, or whether it's in a completely immersive environment like a VR headset, like a HTC Vive or Samsung Gear VR. Our platform facilitates very high performance, high quality experiences and workflows that make it very easy for brands to get these assets onto a platform that delivers them across, in a ubiquitous way, across any type of end user hardware or software. This is just a very quick look at our back end, where we have very clear workflows, whether it's a brand or advertiser, whether it is talent, which is the developer or the graphic designer who may be working on some branded assets, and the publisher. These, depending on what role you play in our ecosystem, you have a different set of tools once you're logged in. We are fully blockchain based, which provides an incredible amount of clarity, transparency, and security in the transactions that take place on our server. This is just a quick look at the advertiser and brand dashboard, where you can see in the center there's the asset manager. In this particular case, we're looking at Adidas, for example, but those shoes represent assets, and those assets can be mocked up by the designers and the developers, and then once approved by the brand, in this case Adidas, they can be set up and prepared for distribution by publishers, almost just like a traditional ad network would. On the developer dashboard, you can see here the same assets. These are the assets that the Adidas makes available, right, for mashing up, and then and these are some of the tools that the publishers have. We are not trying to replace the incredible tools that are already out there. On the contrary, we've created workflows and through plugins that make it very easy for designers and developers to work in the platforms that they're used to. In this case, we're looking at A-Frame. In this case, we're looking at Blender. These are plugins that they can plug into their existing tools, their existing IDEs, and create incredible new experiences that can be consumed across any type of immersive environment, even just a standard 2D video playback. And as a result of what we're building, A really cool new marketplace is coming online. This portion of our site is called the Experience Repository, and this is basically where anybody can come and download experiences. We purposely are making this open source. This code is something that we want to get out there. We want people to see and experience, and we want to role model what a great brand experience can look like and feel like in AR or VR. There are a number of different examples that I can show you, but I just popped up on the screen here. This is we're calling it a spinner, but this is a collection a publisher might choose from the experience repository and say, hey, I want this Adidas experience, or I want this T-Mobile experience, and I want that published on whether it's my website or whether it is even on a smart TV application. You're going to start to see these types of experiences showing up, and they create incredible new ways for brands like the grocery store chain Publix there that you just saw spin through, Halloween Horror Nights, etc., to almost kind of gamify the process of consuming media. In this example, you're watching a stream from Twitch, which is a network broadcast, excuse me, not network, it's an online broadcast channel for gamers to stream their games live. But if you look in the lower, in the lower corner here, you'll see kind of like this little game object. This is a game object that's coming off of our servers. This publisher here, this gamer that we worked with us to help us kind of road test some of these applications. This one here happens to be for a grocery store chain, and it's a little game that his audience can play. He can turn it on or turn it off as he sees fit. This is an example of what it looks like on the end user side, on the consumer side. They basically scan the screen with a QR code, and then their phone lights up with this kind of mix and match game. If they mix and match properly, I think you should see here at the end, yeah, boom, you get a BOGO, or there's some sort of the brand here, Publix, and the brands that they work with create like this BOGO application, a buy one get one free application. And this is an example of a completely new way that brands can connect with target audiences. But I did mention that we had a lot in common, and on this slide, we're going to tell you and show you exactly what that means, what it is that we have in common. And a little bit of a hint here around that is that a lot of research has been done, and it's starting to be done by big research providers like Nielsen and SuperData, and even our own data that we're collecting internally based on our experiences working with gamers, working with AR and VR developers, artists, and consumers, is that brands are very welcome in this space, but there is a catch. Brand participation has to be endemic. So what that means, for example, would be maybe a financial services ad in the middle of a high-speed chase type of game is going to seem out of context, hence it's not endemic. But food and beverage are highly endemic, and here's why. While people are playing, while people are consuming this media, while people are watching their favorite shows in their living room, oftentimes they're consuming snacks and beverages. And as a result, snacks and beverage manufacturers and providers are considered endemic because it's part of the overall experience. This is an incredible opportunity for us. We provide a pipe, a direct pipe almost, right into the target audiences that the other members of your accelerator are looking to connect with. And we just cannot wait to talk to you about that. And that's one of the reasons why we feel like you should really consider us. And obviously why we would benefit immensely from being part of your accelerator. So just to close out around some structure, as I mentioned earlier, we started Engineering Vroom in 2016. We've worked with a number of global partners to help us get to where we are now, which is in our early stage alpha. We absolutely do have our platform developed and live on servers for alpha testing. We have a number of national brands that we're currently under NDA with who are helping us kind of define some of the workflows for enterprise workflow and integration. We are completely debt-free. We've bootstrapped this internally, and we did that strategically. We have not accepted one single dime of outside investment, but we do know that now is the time for us to capitalize. We know exactly how the 20K that we get, if we're approved to join you guys, is going to be spent. We know exactly what that's going to get us. And we also know that, exactly the money that we're going for in our first round of external financing. And we just know that a partnership with you guys is going to help us secure that first round of financing that's going to get us into Q2 when we plan to bring our MVP to a waiting list of national brands that are looking to actually start conducting business on our platform. So finally, I just want to say thank you very much for your consideration. We think what you guys are doing is great, and we really hope that we can work with you guys and see you guys in November. Thanks again.